to Media Melanie Talks TV. I'm Melanie, and today I'm back to talk about School Spirits on Paramount+. It's a supernatural drama with 2 seasons so far, and the very best news is that it's actually been picked up for a 3rd season. I don't think any of us fans were really surprised. The viewership for season 2 was just fantastic. And there were 8 episodes here in the 2nd season. It premiered with the first 3 on January 30th, and the season finale streamed on March 6th. The renewal news came in a couple of weeks later. And again, not a huge surprise, but we are all rejoicing and celebrating because I think we all wanted to see exactly where things would pick up with some of these big cliffhangers they left us with at the end of season 2. Before I get more into it, please be sure you hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to my channel, especially if you want to stay updated on everything School Spirits and also other videos like this where I talk about TV shows. Thank you for everybody who's tuned in. I've got an exciting coverage schedule coming up this spring, including The White Lotus, which I am continuing to cover on HBO Max. Your Friends and Neighbors premieres on Apple TV Plus in April. You is actually coming back, and I may or may not cover that one. It is, of course, released as a binge, so we'll see how that goes. Poker Face is coming back on Peacock, and these are some other shows that you may want to watch while you're waiting for School Spirits to come back, and at the end of the video, I'll give a couple of other recommendations as well. So, what exactly do we know about season 3 so far? In all of the news articles, it has been confirmed Megan and Nate Trinrud will be returning along with the showrunner Oliver Goldstick. They will all be back in season 3, which is set to premiere in 2026. Now, this is interesting. Somebody had actually pointed out, it might have been on Reddit, that the Film and Television Industry Alliance showed that there's actually development and pre-production for School Spirits. So it was actually already listed there before the official renewal news. But what it says, it was last updated on February 10th, which is before we even knew it was coming back for a 3rd season. It's saying that the shoot date will be September 15th, 2025 in Vancouver, British Columbia. The project summary basically just reads about what the show is. High school can feel like an eternity. For some students at Split River High School, it literally is. Maddie, a 16-year-old girl, is newly deceased and finds herself trapped in afterlife limbo at her school, where she discovers she's stuck with those who've also died in the school over the past 100 years. For some reason, she's the only one who can still communicate with the living and uses her newfound abilities to help investigate her own murder. Of course, that did encompass more of what season 1 was about. Season 2 got more into the fallout from that big twist that we got in the season 1 finale. And so far, both seasons have actually had 8 episodes, so I would expect there to be 8 episodes again in season 3. Now, this does say that it was filming in British Columbia. From what I've read, both season 1 and 2 took about 3 months to film, so if they do start filming in September, they could finish it by the end of the year, start the edit. So, I mean, perhaps we could have it in spring of 2026. I think worst case, maybe end of the year. And who knows, maybe they'll tie it in with the Halloween release, given it is such a spooky show. The good news is it does seem like it will go into production this year, and we should have it in 2026. Of course, there was a bit longer of a gap between season 1 and season 2, which was a result of the strikes, the writers and actors strike. So this turnaround should be a lot faster, especially because there is an actual roadmap. And when they have a plan, typically they can stick to it as long as they keep getting renewed. I could see it potentially ending in season 3. We don't want it to go too long and jump the shark, of course, but I do trust the process, especially given the quality that they've given us so far. Speaking of trust, there is a YouTube interview with BuzzFeed celeb. It's a puppy and Milo Manheim. They congratulate him, of course, on the renewal for season 3, and they ask what he would like to see for Wally. And he says anything, whatever the writers are doing is amazing. So long as Wally gets something new in season 3, I'll be happy. I would imagine, because he is doing the Little Shop of Horrors right now, that perhaps production may not be starting until later this year for his schedule to free up a little bit. He's a busy guy. He also works the Zombies franchise, so I'd imagine they want Wally Clark back, and given how they left it open, it could go either way. If he's too busy, okay, Wally will have crossed over, but if not, which is I think what most of us are thinking, and first of all, I initially thought he was going to cross over. I thought that character arc for Wally was phenomenal. So again, it really could go either way, but now I'm leaning towards him not crossing over because let's face it, we all want more Milo Manheim. And speaking of cliffhangers, Simon is now stuck inside of Mr. Martin's scar. I've read varying views on exactly where Simon's body might be. So Christian Ventura, the actor who actually plays Simon, has said varying things in interviews. So I'm not convinced that Simon is actually dead. It's possible. I mean, Wally could have even taken his body for that matter. With the way the school was glowing red and everything was happening, and with the thinner veil and Maddie making the jump back into her body, it kind of makes me think that maybe he's not dead and he is in there to somehow get to the bottom of what's going on with Split River High School and get more closure between Mr. Martin, who is the big bad, and Janet, who is now inside of there with the two of them. What's going on with Split River High School? If you did not check out my video, I did that earlier during season 2 and talked a little bit about how potentially it could be cursed. There could be some ancient energy there. But it sounds like the show is also confirming that, yes, there is something sus happening at Split River High School. So season 3 will also explore that theme. And I can't wait to see what the backstory is. Are we going to start seeing ancient ghosts and what potentially happened to initially trigger this afterlife at this location? And maybe the town as a whole, because we know the ghosts are also at the hospital. Xavier tells Maddie that he can see her dad. Is Maddie going to see her dad? Will Maddie be able to see Simon when she does go back to the school? There's a lot of questions with the ghost of it all. And I had a chance to speak with Aisling Goodman, who played Alice, Mr. Martin's fiance. Wouldn't we love to get more of the Mr. Martin and Alice backstory? Let's bring Aisling Goodman back. It was so cool seeing her haunting Mr. Martin's scar, so I would like a little bit more of that as well. And speaking of more, I mentioned how good these streaming numbers were for season 2. In fact, it debuted with an average audience of 3.9 million in the first 28 days. That is a 94% uptick from the season 1 premiere. Those are some big numbers. A lot of people are watching the show, especially because season 1 is on Netflix now. I'd imagine season 2 will be migrating over there at some point as well, once the momentum dies down and perhaps once we get closer to season 3. There was also a statement published from Nickelodeon's head of live-action scripted series and film, and her name is Shauna Phelan. She released this statement. We are so thrilled to bring School Spirits back to our devoted audiences for another season of masterful storytelling brought to life by Peyton List and the incredible cast. Co-showrunners Oliver Goldstick, Nate Trinrud, and Megan Trinrud have an exceptional ability to capture the complexity and nuance of the teen experience, while also keeping audiences on their toes with the unexpected mystery, and we can't wait to see what's in store for the students of Split River High School next season. Me too. Count me in for all of the School Spirits content. And you know I'm going to be right here covering all of the news as it comes in once we find out when exactly they do start filming, some casting news potentially. So make sure you stick with me. And as I mentioned, if you're looking for some other TV shows to watch, I do have a short video that gives some suggestions, but something I'm really into right now, The Way Home. It is a Hallmark time travel show. You can watch seasons 1 through 3 on Peacock, and it has Spencer McPherson in it, who plays Xavier here in School Spirits. I love the show. It's got a really great mystery, and that show has also been renewed for another season, season 4. So I will definitely be covering that as well. As I mentioned, if you like this show, you may be watching You on Netflix. That's returning for its 5th and final season in April. And for all of you people who love to have a good beach read and you're into this young adult teen drama type of show, The Summer I Turned Pretty is returning for its 3rd season on Prime Video this summer. I love that show. It took me a little while to get into it, and if you're watching it, you know what this question means. Are you Team Jeremiah or are you Team Conrad? Drop it in the comments and expect me to be here talking about that show as well. Oh, and one more show that I just started watching. Can't believe I didn't watch this before. And I will say, I'm not even a huge vampire person, but I've heard such good things about Interview with the Vampire. It's an AMC show. It has 2 seasons. Season 1 is on Netflix. So I've started binging it, and I am so here for all of this vampire romance and drama. It's dark. It is great. And if you're into School Spirits and you haven't watched it yet, I recommend that one as well. It's returning for its 3rd season in late 2025 or early 2026, and I'll probably be here to cover that as well. lots of great TV right now. What are you watching? On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you that we are getting our third season of School Spirits? Honestly, I'm off the charts. You can count me in at like over 100 because I loved this second season and I cannot wait for the third. I really appreciate you watching, and again, for all the School Spirits fans who stuck with me during season 2, make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss any of my coverage and news for season 3. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you know me, I will be back again very soon talking about more TV shows. Media Melanie, clicking off.